Hello there, and welcome to Really Cool Excel. Sometimes you'll want to protect a worksheet so the design can't be changed by someone else, either deliberately or accidentally. An example would be a job sheet where the data is input by a colleague, and you want to make sure they can only enter data and can't change other important elements, such as formulas or formatting, or even the ability to insert or delete columns or rows. But usually it's formulas we want to protect. As an example, let's look at one of the sample files you can download from Really Cool Excel. Most of these sample files are protected in some way to make sure that when you try out the feature explained in the video, the worksheet operates just as I've described it. In this sample file, I want to make sure that you, as a learner, can only access these cells, because if you follow the exercise and input the correct answer, in this case 39, the worksheet will report correct well done in column E. If the file wasn't protected, you might delete or change something that would stop that happening and spoil what the worksheet is set up to do. There are two sides to this: locking cells and protecting worksheets. Here's how protection works, and there's one really crucial point to understand first. By default, every cell in a worksheet is locked, but this makes absolutely no difference unless the worksheet is protected. I'll show you using this example. I'll click this little icon here at the bottom of the font group, which will launch the Format Cells dialog box. On the Protection tab is this checkbox, Locking Cells. You'll see it's ticked, and, as I mentioned earlier, the description here explains that this tick has no effect if the worksheet's not protected. If I protected the worksheet now, every cell in it would be locked, and it would quite literally be read-only. So having established that key point, I'll cancel out of here. In this worksheet, the cells I do not want to be locked are these ones, because the job compiler has to be able to input information here. So first step is to select these cells, the ones I do not want to be locked. Now, back to the Protection tab. At the moment, like every other cell, they are technically locked. When I take out the checkbox, only the selected cells are unlocked. But at this point, that still makes no difference, because the next step is to protect the worksheet. Go to the Review tab, in the Changes group, click Protect Sheet. As you'll see here, this will protect the worksheet and the content of the locked cells. And crucially, the cells we selected will now be unlocked. In this list, once the worksheet is protected, we can allow all users to do anything we have ticked. Clearly I don't want anyone selecting locked cells, but I do want them to be able to put data into the unlocked cells. There are checkboxes for formatting, inserting and deleting columns and rows, sorting, and a few others besides. Now, I want to keep things really tight, so I'll only check one box: unlocked cells. That's all they can do. Now I need a password in here, ABC123, then OK. Now I have to re-enter the password, and there's a scary warning here about not forgetting the password. If you do, quite frankly, you're up a certain creek without the necessary hardware. ABC123 again, and OK. And now only these cells can be clicked. Everything else is locked and secure. Watch. And I can't insert or delete. And all the formatting buttons are greyed out. To unprotect the worksheet, back to the Review tab. This button now says Unprotect Sheet, and as long as I have the password, ABC123, I can do that. Now everything is accessible again. There's also a button here to protect the whole workbook. This is different in that it protects the structure of the workbook, meaning you can't add or delete any extra worksheets or move them about. Then there's stuff about sharing workbooks, but that's a story for another day. So that's locking cells and protecting workbooks, designed to stop interfering little busybodies from messing with your beautifully designed worksheet. And just before I close, here are the key points again. By default, every cell in a worksheet is locked, but this makes absolutely no difference unless the worksheet is protected. And don't, whatever you do, forget the password to a protected sheet. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next time.